The dragon who guarded an alien heart. The twin moons hung low over the valley of Valtheria, their silver light spilling across the scales of a sleeping dragon. His name was Kaelor, the last guardian of the ancient skies. Once, dragons ruled the world with wisdom and fire, but time had buried their kingdoms beneath dust and silence. Now, Kaelor lived alone atop the cliffs of the Whispering Mountains, guarding something far more precious than gold, an alien heart. It was not a heart made of flesh, but of light, pulsing softly within a crystal chamber. The heart had fallen from the heavens years ago, during a storm that had torn open the very sky. Kaelor had found it inside a crater, beating faintly like a dying star. He didn't know what it was, but something in its rhythm spoke to him. It was alive. It was lost. And it was afraid. So he guarded it. Every night, Kaelor would sit beside the glowing heart, feeling its warmth against his claws. It told him stories, not in words, but in images that appeared in his mind. He saw strange cities floating among the stars, creatures with silver skin and eyes that shimmered like galaxies. He saw wars that shattered planets and a lone ship that escaped, carrying the heart. Over time, Kaelor grew to understand that this was not just a treasure. It was someone's life. One morning, as the mists rolled down the mountain, Kaelor sensed something new, a ripple in the air. He raised his head, his golden eyes narrowing. Wings beat against the wind. Not a dragon's wings. These were made of metal. A small craft descended from the clouds, humming softly as it landed in the clearing below his cave. From the ship stepped a being unlike any he had ever seen, tall, slender, and dressed in a suit that shimmered like the stars. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, and her movements were cautious, graceful. Kaelor spread his wings, shaking the ground beneath him. "Who dares enter my valley?" his deep voice rumbled. The being lifted her hands slowly. "I mean no harm," she said, her voice clear and echoing through a device on her wrist. "I am Lyra of the Ilari. I've come to find what was lost." Kaelor's gaze darkened. "You speak of the heart." Lyra nodded. "Yes. The heart of Valtheria, the core of our life system. It powers our world, our cities, our ships. Without it, my people are dying." Kaelor lowered his head. "Then why does it live here alone? Why did your kind let it fall?" Lyra looked away, pain flickering across her face. "Because we were betrayed. The Draconian Empire, your ancestors, perhaps attacked us. They wanted to harness the heart's energy to conquer the stars. We sent it away, hidden among the debris of war, hoping it would be safe. But we never thought it would land here." Kaelor was silent. The wind howled through the cliffs, carrying memories of an age long gone. Dragons once flew among the stars. That much was true. But he had thought those tales were myths. At last, Kaelor said softly, "The heart has found peace here. It beats gently. It harms no one." Lyra stepped closer, her gaze filled with both awe and sorrow. "And yet my people fade. I cannot leave without it." The dragon's golden eyes glowed faintly. "Then you will have to prove you are worthy." Lyra stood before Kaelor, her breath fogging in the cool mountain air. The dragon's massive wings folded behind him, his golden scales glowing faintly in the moonlight. His voice rolled like distant thunder. "You seek the heart of Valtheria," Kaelor said. "But power such as that cannot simply be taken. You must prove that your intentions are pure and that your spirit can withstand both flame and truth." Lyra looked up at him, determination burning in her eyes. "Then tell me what I must do." Kaelor turned toward the cavern entrance behind him, a vast tunnel glowing with veins of blue light. "There are 3 trials," he said. "Each one will test not your strength, but your soul." He lowered his head, so his gaze met hers directly. "Fail them, and you will never leave this mountain alive." Lyra swallowed hard, but did not waver. "I accept." Kaelor led her into the mountain, where ancient stone whispered with forgotten voices. The walls shimmered faintly, and the air grew cold. The sound of her footsteps echoed endlessly, as though the mountain itself were speaking back to her. "This is the Cave of Echoes," Kaelor said. Here, you will face your past. The truth will echo until you confront it. Lyra stepped forward. The glow from her wrist device flickered, casting pale blue light around her.
Suddenly, she froze.
Before her stood the image of a city, her home, Valtheria Prime, burning in chaos. She saw herself running through smoke, her younger brother calling out to her. Lyra, don't leave me. She reached out helplessly. No, not again. The illusion shifted. She saw herself entering the escape ship, the heart of Valtheria pulsing within its chamber. She saw the explosion that separated her from her brother, the moment she had chosen to flee, leaving him behind. Tears welled in her eyes. I had no choice, she whispered. I had to protect the heart. The voice of her brother echoed all around her, soft and broken. You chose duty over love. Lyra fell to her knees, trembling. But then she took a deep breath and stood tall. If saving one life cost me his, then I will spend the rest of mine making it right. The cave grew silent. The illusion faded. Kaelor's deep voice echoed from the shadows. You faced your guilt and did not run. You have passed the first trial. They emerged into a cavern that opened into a vast underground lake. But this was no ordinary water. It burned with liquid flame, glowing gold and red. Heat shimmered in the air. Kaelor's wings spread wide. To cross the lake of fire, you must trust in the balance between courage and surrender. Step wrong, and the flames will consume you. Lyra looked at the seething lake before her. Floating stones glimmered faintly on its surface, forming a fragile path. She stepped forward, carefully, steadily. Each stone sank slightly beneath her feet. She focused her breathing, her mind calm. The flames rose higher with every step, licking at her boots. Halfway across, the stones vanished beneath a sudden surge of fire. Lyra gasped. The path was gone. Kaelor's voice thundered from above. Will you give in to fear? Lyra closed her eyes. No. She activated her wrist device. A shimmering energy shield appeared around her, and she leaped forward, guided not by sight, but by instinct. For a brief moment, she was surrounded by flame, yet she did not burn. The shield flickered, fueled by her will alone, until she landed safely on the far side. When she turned, Kaelor was watching her with silent pride. You walk with both wisdom and fire, he said. The second trial is complete. The third trial, the heart's voice. At the summit of the mountain lay a hidden chamber. The heart of Valtheria rested within, glowing like a small sun suspended in the air. Its light filled the space, pulsing gently, as though recognizing Lyra. Kaelor stood beside it, his voice softening. The final trial is not one of action, but of truth. Speak your heart, and the heart will decide. Lyra approached slowly. The light grew brighter, and a voice, not heard but felt, filled her mind. Why do you seek me, child of Valtheria? Lyra's voice trembled. Because my world is dying. Because my people need you. The light pulsed again. And if I go, this world, this dragon, will lose what peace remains. Can you take life to save life? Lyra hesitated. She looked at Kaelor, who stood silently, his golden eyes full of an ancient sadness. For years, he had protected this heart, not for power, but for love. It had become part of him. She whispered, I don't want to take it from him. I just want to save both worlds. The heart shimmered with warmth. Then your desire is pure. Kaelor bowed his head. The heart has chosen, he said quietly. But its choice is not simple. The crystal chamber began to hum. Light burst outward, surrounding both Lyra and Kaelor. In that moment, their minds connected, dragon and alien, two beings from worlds apart. They saw each other's memories, fears, and hopes. And they understood. Light surrounded them, warm, weightless, endless. Kaelor felt his ancient heart tremble as the heart of Valtheria pulsed between them, linking dragon and alien in a current of pure energy. In that blinding glow, he saw Lyra's memories, her home world of crystal towers and floating oceans, her people weaving light into songs, their laughter beneath two golden suns. He saw their fall, burning ships, cities turning to dust, and her desperate flight through the void carrying the heart. And Lyra saw his memories, the skies once filled with dragons, the roaring unity of his kin, their downfall in the Draconian wars. She saw Kaelor burying his last brother beneath the mountains, vowing never again to take life, only to protect what remained. When the light faded, both stood breathless, bound by an understanding deeper than words. Kaelor was the first to speak. "Now you know, alien child, why I guard the heart. It is not a weapon but a soul. It sings to the wounded and brings peace to those who listen." Lyra nodded slowly, tears glimmering. "And now I know why it chose you." The heart pulsed again, faster, brighter, as if responding to their shared emotion. Its voice filled their minds once more. "You are not enemies. You are bridges between worlds. But for one to live, the other must not die. There is another way." Lyra stepped closer. "Show us." A surge of light burst from the heart, flowing into Kaelor's chest and Lyra's hands. For a moment, the cavern vanished, replaced by a vast vision, stars stretching into infinity, and in their center, a great tree of energy, its roots reaching into countless worlds. "Every life, every world, is part of this tree," the heart said. "I am but one spark of its core. If you join together, dragon and alien, you can awaken another spark, one that can save Valtheria without taking me away." Kaelor frowned slightly. "You speak of creation magic, ancient and forbidden." Lyra's eyes lit with hope. "Then we can bring life without loss." But the heart dimmed slightly, its voice softer. "To create such a spark requires sacrifice. The bond between you will become the bridge. You will share life, forever linked. Your hearts will beat as one." Kaelor went still. He looked at Lyra, who stared back, uncertain but resolute. "If this means saving both worlds," she said quietly, "I will accept it." Kaelor lowered his head, his voice heavy. "And I shall bear it with you." The binding ritual. The heart rose into the air, spinning slowly, beams of light stretching toward them. The walls of the cavern trembled, dust falling like golden snow. "Take my hand," Lyra said, her voice trembling but sure. Kaelor extended one claw carefully, massive, yet gentle. She placed her palm against it. The light of the heart surged between them, wrapping around their bodies like ribbons of fire and crystal. Lyra felt her pulse slow, then quicken, matching the steady beat within Kaelor's chest. His golden eyes widened. He could feel her heartbeat, her breath, her fear. The mountain shook as the ritual reached its peak. Kaelor let out a roar that echoed through the valleys below, not in pain but in power. The flames that burst from his wings were no longer red. They glowed with starlight, infused with alien energy. When the glow faded, silence fell. Lyra opened her eyes. The heart of Valtheria floated before them, dim now but calm, as if resting. Around her neck shimmered a small fragment, a glowing shard that pulsed softly. Kaelor looked down at his chest. A similar shard rested between his scales, beating in rhythm with hers. The heart spoke faintly. "Two worlds, one pulse. Use it wisely." And then it fell into a deep, silent sleep. Lyra stared at Kaelor in awe. It worked. The heart is still alive, but now it's a part of us. Kaelor nodded slowly.
"Yes."
"We are bound. Fire and light, joined for eternity." They stepped out of the cavern together, the dawn rising over Valtheria. The wind carried warmth through the mountain peaks, and for the first time in centuries, Kaelor felt peace, not the quiet of loneliness, but the calm of shared purpose. Lyra turned toward the sky. "I must return to my ship. My people need to know." Kaelor spread his wings. "Then I will carry you." With a mighty leap, he rose into the air, the alien rider upon his back, both glowing with the same heartbeat. The sun broke over the horizon, its light reflecting on Kaelor's scales and Lyra's armor, gold and silver, flame and starlight. Together, they flew beyond the clouds, toward destiny. Kaelor and Lyra soared through the skies above Valtheria, the shard of the heart of Alara glowing faintly between them. Below, the mountains shrank, rivers sparkled like threads of silver, and the horizon stretched endlessly. For a moment, they felt free, but the shadows of the Draconian Empire were already moving. Far across the galaxy, the Empire had learned of the heart's location. Its leaders coveted its power to conquer every star system, and they would stop at nothing. Lyra's ship had barely touched the ground on her home planet when scouts reported the Draconian fleet approaching. Cities trembled as enormous warships blotted out the twin suns, their weapons glowing red with deadly energy. "We don't have much time," Lyra said, mounting Kaelor. "They'll destroy everything if we don't act fast." Kaelor's wings beat with the strength of storms. "Then we take the fight to them." The Draconian fleet hovered over Alara Prime, its ships forming a wall across the sky. Beams of crimson fire cut through the clouds, turning oceans into steam. Lyra guided Kaelor close, their shared heartbeat steady, their combined power glowing brighter than the warship's weapons. Kaelor roared, and the sound rippled through the air, bending metal and shattering shields. He dived into the largest ship, his claws tearing through the armor as flames of starlight engulfed the decks. Lyra reached out with her shard, sending pulses of energy that disabled the fleet's navigation systems. The ships trembled, unable to aim, their weapons flickering. From above, the Draconian admiral growled into his communicator. "The heart, it is not yours. Seize it, or destroy the world." Kaelor's eyes glowed gold. "You will touch no world while I live." The dragon's roar echoed across the battlefield, a combination of fire, fury, and alien energy. His wings carried them high above the fleet, and together, rider and dragon struck with unstoppable force. During the chaos, the heart of Alara pulsed violently. Lyra and Kaelor felt it calling, not as a weapon but as a beacon. Its light reached into the minds of their enemies, showing visions of life, of destruction, and of peace. Some Draconians faltered, seeing their own worlds burning in the void. Others panicked, turning their weapons on each other. The fleet's unity collapsed under the weight of truth, the heart's energy revealing what greed had blinded them to. Destruction was not victory. Lyra realized then that the heart was teaching them, not just protecting them. She whispered to Kaelor, "It wants them to understand. It wants to stop the war without killing anyone." Kaelor nodded. "Then we follow its will." Together, they focused their shared energy, projecting the heart's vision across the battlefield. Ships shuddered, weapons jammed, and fear turned to awe. The Draconians dropped their arms, their leaders screaming orders that no one could follow. The admiral, desperate, activated the flagship's core, a weapon capable of annihilating an entire city. Lyra's shard vibrated violently, warning her of the danger. Kaelor roared, diving toward the flagship like a comet. Flames of starlight tore through the hull, and Lyra extended her energy into the core. The heart pulsed once, twice, then exploded in a wave of brilliant light that neutralized the weapon. The flagship spun, disabled, and the remaining Draconian ships retreated, fleeing into the dark expanse of space. Silence fell over Alara Prime. The cities were scorched but still standing. Survivors emerged from shelters, their eyes wide as they witnessed the dragon and the alien together, shining with the light of the heart. Lyra landed softly on Kaelor's back. "It's over for now." Kaelor lowered his massive wings. "For now," he rumbled. "But they will return. Power such as this never stays hidden for long." Lyra looked down at her people, exhausted, fearful, but alive. "They will rebuild. And next time, we will be ready." Kaelor's golden eyes met hers. "We will face the stars together. Fire and light, dragon and alien, bound forever." The heart pulsed between them, soft and steady, as if acknowledging their promise. And somewhere deep in the mountains of Valtheria, the echoes of an ancient world whispered. The Guardians had returned. The war was over, but the galaxy was not yet at peace. Alara Prime bore scars, cities half destroyed, oceans tainted, skies darkened by smoke. Yet hope lingered in the hearts of its people. And high above, Kaelor and Lyra soared, their shared heartbeat glowing with the energy of the heart of Valtheria. "We've won a battle," Lyra said quietly. "But the universe is vast. There are still threats we do not know." Kaelor's wings cut through the wind. "Then we must remain vigilant. This heart is a bridge, not a weapon. It binds worlds, but it also calls to those who would misuse its power." Lyra nodded. "And now we are its guardians together." Rebuilding Valtheria Prime. Days passed. Kaelor and Lyra helped rebuild the cities, their combined presence inspiring courage and unity. Lyra taught the people to harness small fragments of the heart's energy safely, restoring power to hospitals, farms, and schools. Kaelor patrolled the skies, ensuring no draconian scouts returned. Children would run to the hills to see the dragon and the alien riding together, their golden and blue light shining across the valley. They whispered tales of the dragon who guarded an alien heart, a legend reborn. Lyra's shard pulsed faintly in her chest, and Kaelor's glowing scales reflected its rhythm. The heart's presence was no longer just protection. It was a symbol, a promise that life, no matter how fragile, could endure when hearts were united. A new threat on the horizon. One evening, as twin suns dipped below the horizon, Lyra noticed a flicker of red light far beyond the stars. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but Kaelor saw it too. "The Draconian Empire is not gone," he said, voice low. "They will return, and they will come stronger." Lyra's eyes hardened with determination. "Then we prepare. We have the heart. We have each other. We will not fail." Kaelor's wings unfurled, golden light brushing the clouds. "Let them come," he rumbled. "For every star they seek to conquer, we will rise to guard it. Fire and light will always endure." Together, they rose higher, the wind carrying their promise across the galaxy. The heart pulsed between them, steady and alive, its rhythm echoing in every living being on Valtheria Prime. Years passed. Lyra and Kaelor became legends, guardians of worlds and protectors of life. Their bond, once forged in trial, became unbreakable. Wherever darkness rose, their light followed, guiding the lost, inspiring the hopeless, and protecting the innocent. The heart of Valtheria rested within them, a living connection between dragon and alien, between past and future. And through it all, they knew one truth: courage and compassion, shared between two souls, could overcome even the greatest of darkness. One night, Kaelor perched atop a mountain, wings folding around him, and Lyra beside him, gazing at the stars. "Do you ever think about the past?" she asked. Kaelor's golden eyes glimmered. "Only to remember why we fight for the future." Lyra smiled. "Then let's make sure the future is bright." The twin moons rose, casting silver light across the valley. The heart of Valtheria pulsed softly, a heartbeat shared between worlds. And high above, the dragon and the alien rode together, guardians of hope, fire, and light, a legend that would echo through the cosmos forever.